Eleanor was 64 years old the morning she realized something had quietly changed. She was sitting in her favorite armchair by the window, the one she had read in every Sunday morning for 30 years, holding the newspaper she had picked up from the doorstep just minutes before. The words were there. The light was good, but something between the page and her mind felt different. Blurry at the edges, slightly distant. She held the paper closer, then further away, then closer again. She laughed softly to herself and thought, I suppose I need new glasses. She had no idea that what she was experiencing was the beginning of a much deeper conversation between her body and her eyes, one that millions of people her age were having simultaneously without even knowing it. Vision change after 50 is one of the most universal human experiences, and yet it remains one of the least discussed. We talk about joint pain, about blood pressure, about memory. But the slow, quiet transformation of how we see the world tends to be dismissed as an inevitable inconvenience, something to be corrected with a stronger prescription, and then forgotten about until the next time the letters on the menu become impossible to read. What actually happens inside the eye as we age is a story worth understanding. The lens of the eye, which sits just behind the pupil, gradually loses its flexibility over time. In younger eyes, this lens shifts shape fluidly, focusing on near and distant objects with effortless speed. After 40, and increasingly through the 50s and 60s, that flexibility diminishes. The lens stiffens.
Now, please
Focusing
read the
becomes
line on the
slower
chart.
and less
Okay,
precise.
doctor.
This
FPTOZ.
is why reading
Very
glasses
good. Now the
become
next
a
line.
companion for so many people in midlife, not because their eyes are failing, but because the remarkable mechanism that once worked invisibly is simply asking for a little more support. But presbyopia, as this condition is called, is only the beginning of the vision story after 50. The risk of several more serious conditions rises significantly with age, and most of them share the same dangerous characteristic as high blood pressure and high cholesterol. They develop in complete silence, without pain, without obvious warning, until the damage they have caused becomes impossible to ignore or reverse. Cataracts are among the most common. The same lens that loses flexibility also gradually clouds over the decades, scattering light rather than focusing it cleanly. Colors become less vivid. Glare from headlights or sunlight becomes uncomfortable and disorienting. Night vision deteriorates in ways that feel puzzling and frustrating. Many people live with advancing cataracts for years before they seek help, assuming that what they're experiencing is simply aging, not a treatable condition. Glaucoma is quieter still. It involves rising pressure within the eye that slowly damages the optic nerve, the cable that carries visual information from the eye to the brain. Peripheral vision disappears first, so gradually that most people do not notice until a significant portion of their visual field is already gone. There are no symptoms in the early stages. No pain, no blurring, no flashing lights. Just a slow, invisible narrowing of the world that only becomes apparent when it is already advanced. Age-related macular degeneration affects the central part of vision, the area responsible for reading, recognizing faces, and seeing fine detail. It does not cause complete blindness, but can make the activities that give life its richness, reading a beloved book, seeing a grandchild's expression clearly, threading a needle, watching a favorite program, progressively more difficult and eventually impossible without intervention. The single most powerful thing any person over 50 can do for their vision is also the simplest. Regular comprehensive eye examinations, not just vision checks for a new prescription, but full examinations that assess the health of the entire eye from lens to optic nerve, are the only way to detect these silent conditions before they cause irreversible harm. Most serious eye conditions, when caught early, can be slowed,
This fish
managed,
looks perfect.
or treated
It
with
will be
remarkable
delicious with
effectiveness.
this salad.
We're
The
a great
tragedy is
team.
not that these conditions exist. It is that so many people discover them too late simply because they did not know to look. Beyond regular examinations, protecting your eyes from ultraviolet light with quality sunglasses, eating a diet rich in leafy greens and colorful vegetables, managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure that directly affect
Oh,
eye
my
health,
dear, there you are.
staying well hydrated,
I
and
missed
avoiding
you.
Come here,
smoking
my
all
love.
contribute
you,
meaningfully
Grandma.
to preserving vision across the decades. Eleanor did eventually get new glasses, but she also, for the first time in her life, had a full eye examination. The results gave her information she had never had before, a clear picture of her eye health, a baseline to monitor going forward, and the quiet confidence of knowing that she was paying attention to one of the most precious things she had. The world is beautiful. It is worth fighting to keep seeing it clearly.